Hello students, this is the program which we saw in the last class and another version of this program also we saw, but let us try to understand this from the very beginning. So why I have written import? If you want to input, you want to use the scanner class, and with the help of a scanner class, we can use these functions next int or next float to input the number. So if you want to input, then we need to import this, and yes, it must be written in the same way. Import should be in a small letter. Everything should be in a small like this. Fine. Then of course in Java we have to encapsulate everything in a class. So class must be there. Class begins here. And since we are uh, learning simple programming, procedural programming, so the main function starts, and the execution starts from the main function. So since we have to find area of rectangle and simple interest in this program, so as per the requirement, we are just creating the variables. Then you have to break the problem in simple pieces, and then you have to think. First, we have to find the area of rectangle. Then think that what do we need for finding the area of rectangle? Then you will find that in order to find the area of rectangle, we need length and breadth. So we need length and breadth. If only length is given or only breadth is given, it's not possible to get the area. In order to get the area, we must have length and breadth. So yes, two data is needed here, and I have created an integer variable L and B, which stands for length and breadth. You can give any valid variable name. Now, just now I said that we have to input, so we have to write this line, scanner in new scanner system.in. I have told you earlier also, once again I'm telling you, this is an object name in, this is the class name, and this system.in stands for the standard input device, that is keyboard. It means that you can input anything to the keyboard using this object. No need to go in much detail of this line. You'll understand it. Keep it simple and remember it that this line is needed if you want to input anything. So just in that way, you just you may remember or make this thing easy for you. Now I have made this PRT. Yes, we have to find the area. Sorry, simple interest also. So for simple interest, we need principal amount, we need rate of interest, we need time. So these things are needed. If any one of them is missing, then also we cannot find the simple interest. All three data are important and all three are needed. So we need these three things. So normally it is good to create variables in the beginning. Although we can create variables anywhere it is needed, but it is always good to. So this is how we uh, so now what? Let us try to learn something more. Commenting is always helpful. It makes the thing easy to understand for the reader, or even for you. If you'll watch this program after 1 year, 2 years, then comments may make the things easier. Just like see here for finding area of rectangle. This will make the clear that these things are for finding area of rectangle. You can now read it in a more understandable form. So why I've written this system.print. First we find the area. This is just a message, and then another message enter length and breadth. We have seen these things in our last video, so no need to worry much. Then length is going to this and breadth is going to this. We found area. Just now I said that we can create variable anywhere as it is needed. So here we are creating the variable AR to hold the value of the product of length and breadth or the value of area. And now finally we are printing out the area. Now after this, these codes will be executed. The comment says that this is for simple interest. This is a message. Now simple interest. Now it is asking for the principal rate and time. Yes. So next float is being used. Why we have used float? Because interest rate, time, or even the amount may contain decimal form. So we have taken float. That is a nice demand of this situation. So this line of code do what? It helps to input in not next float. The input is going here. The the whatever you will input in the second time will go to rate, and this message will help you or to enter, since it is written enter principal, so obviously the first value will be principal, the rate and the time. You can write it one by one also, like first you could have written system.out.enter principal, then p dot enter, then you'll have written system.out.print enter rate, then this, then you have should have written enter time and then this. So both ways are okay. Now simple interest is calculated with this formula PRT by 100. So PRT by 100, and SI has the interest which I printed, and then the net payable amount, the principal amount plus the interest amount, and this is how we got it. And program is working, which you saw in the last class. Now this is a simple program where no procedures are there, no methods are there, no functions are there. The user defined functions are not there. Is quite simple program. This methodology is used when you are going to make a very simple program, but this is not applicable when you are making a larger program, a complicated program. These things will make the program very complicated if you make a bigger program in this way. So it is always good to modulate the program. Modulate means to divide programs in simple units, and this can be achieved with by making methods, functions. For finding area of rectangle, you can make one method. For finding simple interest, we can make another method. For doing any other thing, we can have any other method. We can do it for doing any kind of different method. So the program, in making the program in that way, make it very manageable. You can manage it. So let us not transform this. Transforming. You can transform the program in procedural, or you can make methods. How? Let us see. As it was discussed in our previous class, that you can define method either above the main function or at the bottom or after the main function. So anywhere you can just define. So let us do one thing. Instead of typing the code, we can type the code also. Since we already have the codes, so we not need to type it. We just need to cut it from here, cut it. Control X is used to cut. And now make a function. How we make a function, how we make a method. So if you are using a procedural programming methodology, then you have to make all the functions static, void, and the name of function, area of rectangle. This name we can give, or any name you can give, no issue. And yes, one more thing I would like to add here. The makers of Java uses one protocol, one system for naming the variable. Look, just now I gave this name. Why I give this name? Area of rectangle. So area of rectangle will be a lengthy name, but this is a short name. But for the new user or new person, or even for you, reading this as a whole will make no meaning. So it is Java makers do what? If the name of function or of the name of variable comprises of more than one word, as in this case, I have used 3 words, area of rectangle. So they do what? The first word they write in all small. So area, let it be all small. The first letter of the second word is in capital. O should be in capital. The same way, the first letter of the next word will be also in capital. So this is how you'll find if you'll use the system defined function. Or let us see this. Look at the next float. It is made up of 2 words, next and float. So the first word is all small, and the beginning of the first letter of the next word is the capital. So this may be the good way of giving the name, but the previous one was also okay, but this is better. So you can follow your protocol, no issue. Then parenthesis is provided. So this is how we are giving, or we are making a function. Always remember, when we are making a procedural program, then static, then void, then area of rect, or whatever name you wish to give, just can give. Remember, we have not yet started object oriented. And once you will understand what is a procedural programming, then it will be easy to understand and compare between them. So that's why I'm telling you procedural first. Now paste the code and close it. Either you can type also, but why to type? Why to waste time? So float is not needed here. Let us not keep it here. So better we should cut it and keep it in the clipboard. It will be used next. It will be used next time when we'll make a function for simple interest. So now, since we have to get the rectangle, area of rectangle, and when this function will be invoked, look, we make function to call them. How to call, I'll tell you now. But once they are invoked or once they are called, what do? They do nothing. But the code within them get executed sequentially, or whatever code is written there, whatever instructions are there, they will be just executed when they will be called. So we have to carefully choose the statements, the things, because these things are going to execute when this function will be called. And once a method is made, once a function is made, that can be called any number of time or any time. There's no restriction. So this way we have made this function. Now what is the function is doing? This function is doing this. What it will do, once it will be called, first two variables, these are the local variables. Now what is local and global, I'll tell you afterwards, not now. But these are the local variables. The variables which are declared inside a function are known as the local variables. So this is the in object. This is also local right now. Now this is a message, you know what will happen with these messages, and this is how the length will be asked. This will breadth will, the B will have the breadth, and this will have the area and the output. That's it. And then end of this method. This is how things will work. Let us make the another method. We can have any number of methods in our program, any number of methods, no limit. It's not like that we can have only two methods. We can have 2,000, 2 lakhs, 2 crores, 2 arab methods in one program, in single program. So there is extreme flexibility. So you must know this. You should try also. So how to make a function? Let me tell you again. First, you have to write a static while making procedural program. These things will change when we will learn object-oriented. Simple interest. Lengthy name, just give, no problem. INT will confuse you, so I have given an interest full name. And yes, look at the way I'm following. Capital is small and all. You should also follow. That will make the things a little more readable. Now, since we have to find area of what interest, so we need these data. We need another set of in object, and rest of the code is there. So better to cut it. You can type it also, but you can cut also. Cut test is can be done. What I'm doing, I'm transforming that program to this, means methods and all. So now we have two methods. Look, the use of this plus and all. This automatically understands. This is shrinking it so that we could see everything in the clear space. We have two methods, this and this. We can expand it if you'll have a large program with hundreds of functions, then all of them will be, if expanded, then it will look low, it will be too big and large. So you could hide them also. This facility is there in Notepad, and other editors also have this thing. So it's okay. So this is what will happen once this function will be called. Now I'm telling you call. How to call, how to invoke a function. It's quite very simple. Since the execution always starts from the main function, so we need to have a main function. And everything that we wish to execute should be there in the main function. So let us write one thing, system.out.println. Let's begin. And yes, only this much, not more than this. The main function only contains this line. Save it, go to CMD, and then see what is happening. What's the name of the function? Since it is already saved, so name of the file is work.java. So let us compile that because a lot of changes are made. Java C work.java. No problem. That's sad. Problem must come. That lets us learn something new. It's okay. If there's no problem, then also it's okay. Java work. Let's begin. And that's it. Why so? Why I've written this? Just to put in your mind that whatever thing, no issue, whatever these things, that doesn't matter. Whatever you have written here, that doesn't matter at all. These are just functions. These things are there. But unless and until they will be used in the main function, they will not be executed. Mind it. I have written only let's begin, and then this method ended, the main method or the main function ended, so this ended. You might ask, or you might wonder, sir, these things are also there, why they are not executed? So dear students, you can understand these things in a different way. Suppose you have lot of things at your home. You have fan, you have AC, you have cooler, you have TV, you have mixer grinder, you have gas stove, you have lot of other things. All of them are there at your home, but you need to call them, you need to use them. If you want a fan to run or fan to move or fan, then you need to switch on the fan, then it will start working, no? Just because the fan is at your home so it will be moving all the time, this is not the way. If mixer grinder is there, then you need to use it, then you used to push the button, you used to invoke it, then it will start working. The same way, if you want to see the watch the movie TV, then you need to switch it on, you need to call it. So the same way, we can have any number of function in our home, in our program. These are the one of the function is this, one of the function is this. We may have any number of function here, but if they will not be invoked, they will not execute. Just try to understand this concept. So let us now use them. How to use them? Let us use the any one function first. And yes, always remember that no need to call the function in the order they are created. Means first area of rectangle is there, and simple it is there, then yes, we'll have to call first. This is not like that. You can have any number of function and you can call them in any order and any number of times. So let us first call simple interest function. How to call? It's quite very simple. How you call your friends? With their name. Hi, come here. Hi Mohan, hi Sumit, come here. The same way we call the function. What's the name of function? Same interest. So call it and take care of the cases, uppercase, lowercase. Spelling should be okay. And that's why a small variable name, function name to need to be given, so that a lot of typing, you avoid a lot of typing. A lot of typing means chances of mistakes. So that's it. We call the function. You may ask, sir, is this the way to call a function? Of course, this is the way to call a function in procedural programming. But once we come to object oriented, a little change is there. And let me show you the change, that change. Look at this. Next float is a function, but it need object to be called. This is object oriented. So do not involve yourself in these things. Just keep the thing simple. This is how we can call a function, just simply writing their names. That's it. Now save it, compile it once again because we have made change here. Now run. Let's begin. Let's begin why it came because of this line. And simple interest is called now. I've switched on the fan, I've switched on the AC, I've switched on the TV. Now it has started working. Now how it has to work, it is defined here. It is defined here. Now what is this doing? It has first created PRT in RAM. Okay, that is in the RAM. That is happening in the RAM. I could show you with the help of Excel, but no need to show that. So it's there in the RAM. This in object also created in the RAM. Now this is the comment, it's not executed. Now this line executed, the output statement, and that's how we saw this line here. And then another line, enter principal date and time. Because of that, this came here. Now this is executing. You know this, if you have practiced well, then you must be knowing this, what is happening here. It's waiting for your input through the standard input device, that is keyboard, and principal amount you have to enter. Principal, any amount, 15,460 rupees you have deposited in the bank or anywhere. This went to the variable P. When I pressed enter, this went to variable P. Which P? This P, which has been earlier created. If you are using any variable, it need to be first created, and then you can only. This is the room is booked with this name in the memory, and now the guest came. This is the guest. This is the guest which now stays at this location. The same way, another room is booked with name R. For what? For rate of interest. Enter any rate of interest like 9.63%. You don't need to put this percent symbol and all, okay? Never, because this percent symbol is not a float number, okay? So leave it. Now time. Suppose we need 2.5 years or 2 years, 3 years, 4 years in it, but I'm using 0.5 just to show you that since we are using float, so we can do these things. Now, once we'll press enter, what will happen? The 2.5 will get stored in this. Then our new variable SI will be created, and this calculation will be done through the processor. And then these things will be outdone. Let us see. Look, this is the interest amount after 2.5 years, and the net payable amount is this plus the interest amount. Total payable is this after that. So keeping money in bank at some rate of interest increases the sum there. So since we have called it one time, so it ran one time. Can we call it again? Yes, you can call it again. Just either you type it or you can copy paste it. Let's do it once again. 3 times you're calling. You can call it 100 of times. No issue, not at all. What it will do? First, it will execute this function. Then it will execute this function. This one, the same. Again, this will be executed. And the same thing will be redone from the beginning. Everything will be done. Does computer will get bored out of it? No, computer is a machine. You will get bored, but it will not. So since I've made some changes here, let us, every time we are making any change, we need to compile it. And then run this. Simple interest, enter principal, anything. Again, after showing display, enter, say this is running again. So this, everything will be done from the very beginning. And what is happening to the earlier PRT? Every time the function ends, everything gets flushed out. The memory is cleared, and this clearance of memory is done by Java automatically. Memory management in Java is done automatically. So every time you begin a function, you call a function, things are created, and as and when it ends, everything get erased. Although the things remain in the output screen, but in remaining in the output screen is different from remaining in the memory. So when this function is recalled, again it is called, then everything is done from very beginning. This again, this PRT is created, and again everything is done, and again whatever number you will input will go and will work. And since we have called it 3 times, 3 times it will be called. And think, if you were not using this technique, then you'll, in order to call it for 3 times, you'll have to copy paste for the 3 times. So you will uselessly make the program lengthy. So now just call it reusing. Anything, just give. So this is how the things are working. So I hope you are getting these points. So now we'll remove these two and we'll call another function. What is the name of function? You must be very clear. Area of rectangle. Area of, and you have to take care of the, and you can call it any number of times. So suppose if you don't want to call this simple interest, if you don't want, we have enough called it. So we can put 2 slashes and made it comment for just now. You can remove this slashes to make it normal line of code. Now only area of rectangle will be called. Why? Because has been made comment. Hmm. And now what? Java work. You know what will happen? Area of rectangle will be called. First this line executed, and then area of rectangle is called. This is area of rectangle. INTB created, then this created. Now first we will find area. This message came. Now length and breadth, enter length. Maybe in centimeter, inch, meter, nothing, no matter. 78 meters and 6 meters. So area is this, and game over. Now let us, if you want to calculate the simple interest also, so let us remove the slash, save it, come back, compile it, then run it. Now since it is called first, so this is happening. Enter any amount, enter any rate of interest, enter any time, calculate it, and then this is also working after this. So this line of code is there. Anything done? So dear students, I hope that you might have understood these things. Please practice it, and in our next class we'll see how we can add more functions to the same program. So watch this video. If you have any issue, you may clear your doubts. So thank you for now.